Right, bit of a late start today. Here we go. So today, the plan is this bit of guff. So we were implementing compiled sprites. They went in fine. And then I had a bit of fun at the end of the stream going, oh, but wait, how are we going to do clipping? And I decided, I think, on the stream that it was not going to be possible to do clipping. And then I thought about it afterwards and I thought, well, actually, no, it is, isn't it? It's just going to be really fiddly. So the really fiddly clipping is now done, which now means we get on to the next bit, which is doing the dirty rectangle arrays. The first part of which is being able to say, given this world coordinate, what pixel of what tile should be there. But we need to do that in an efficient way. So that's going to be interesting because we probably don't. Yeah, we're not going to want to literally say, given this coordinate, what's the color? Because that'll have to recalculate a whole bunch of offsets every single time. So there's probably a bunch of ways that we can make that a little bit faster. So that's the plan today. Okay, and now I'm going to have some water. Okay. So, reading the background from tiles, reading the background tiles on the CPU, we have some code that does this already. Because obviously the new renderer needs to know what's going on with the tiles so they can draw them. And it has, what did I even call the file? It's been that long since I looked at it. World renderer, I believe. World renderer, there we go. It even has a function somewhere near the top. Draw tile CPU, which will draw, I believe, a whole bunch of them, yes. So a square area. Which is still not exactly what we want, because that'll be drawing too much. But it gives us some idea about how we might go about optimizing a little bit. That's the plan anyway. And also, as I said in the stream yesterday, for anybody that was in that, I've got some sort of weird virus going on at the moment, which is why I'm talking a bit funny. So sorry about that. Never mind. Okay. I think what we should do, actually, is we should just do this the slow way and then optimize it. I think that will be far more sensible. So that would be in an image, which is there. So an image currently is expecting, hello there, Beam, welcome in. Hi. How are you doing today? So yes, all of this stuff would go. In fact, yeah, we don't have dirty rect erasing yet, but we will in a minute. Okay. Now the other thing is, I can't remember. I don't believe everything is a compiled sprite. Let's check that because we've got a flag for it. Set flag. If sprite compiled. Okay, so who sets that then? I don't suppose you can get me references of that, can you? You can? Okay, well, we call it any compiler manage, that makes sense. So hello there, Cat Peasant. Also welcome in. You came in at the same time. Making a remote desktop system that works over WebRTC as an experiment. Really cool stuff. Cool in the sense that browser does so much for you. That's handy. What we're working on today. Today we are working on, so I got the compile sprite clipping fixed yesterday, day before, whatever. Excuse me, sorry. So now we're on to the next bit, which is the dirty rectangle sprite arrays. So when we come to erase the sprite, instead of just putting an image that we've grabbed off the screen back onto the screen again, we're actually going to rebuild the background by drawing the background tile and then drawing the clipped bits of sprite that we might have overlapped as well. So that's the plan today. Well, first I need to remember where I've actually used compiled sprite, because I don't think it was all the sprites were compiled, but I think some of them were. Ah, that's the flag I wanted. So who uses that? Enemies. Just you. Just the sentry. Nobody else does. Okay. I think everybody's going to have to. Which kind of makes that flag a bit redundant, really, but... Oh, also, we don't have flipping working either. That's a good point. Now, why did I make an allow flag? That rings a bell. Yeah, because we have to tell... Oh, because we have to store the data twice, because we have to have a compiled version forwards and a horizontally flipped compiled version. Yes, of course. That makes sense. Do we even use that? Or have I just put a flag in and then compile? What is that? A pragma? I mean, a one of them. Lambda is the word I'm looking for. Looks like there's... Yeah, this looks half finished. Okay. Do I care? I mean, it'll look wrong, because it will be wrong, but we can add flipping later. Yeah, I don't want to do flipping today. So screw that. We will ignore that. Dirty wrangles, yes. Working look, yes, fair enough, cat peasant. No problem at all. Thank you for the look. Okay, yes, let's ignore the fact that flipping doesn't work currently and deal with the fact that we're... I mean, the easiest cheat to find out what happens if we make everything compiled is just to set that on everything, isn't it, really? Compile, where are we checking the flag? I know it's here. I looked at it a second ago. There it is. If that, or maybe if one. How about if one? True. I'm going to have to set the flag, because then I'm going to pick it up when I come to draw it. Okay, fine. Oh, that's going to be const, isn't it? I'm going to have foreseen this and made that deliberately const. That's just flags. Why is that? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong prototype. There it is. Okay, it's not const. Winner. In which case, you can add load flags. Yes. Now, set flag does combine them, doesn't it? Yes, okay. That's not the right button. Curse of changing IDEs. Okay, so that'll make everything a compiled sprite. Let's see what breaks. Oh, I haven't even set this up yet. Okay. Where am we? Okay. Equal. Thank heavens we have this whimsical music to see us through the compile times. Did I disable the music? I think I did. Oh, that's not a good start. What happened there then? That died very quick. As of memory, yeah, no, that's fair enough. Okay. Yeah, we're probably just going to give ourselves about 32 meg just to get through this, I think. Can I remember how to do that? No. Aha! We've already given ourselves an extra 300k, but you know, why not? Why not 1300k? No, that's not what that says. You know what I mean. No, it is 1300k. Ignore the sentence I just said. Good. Carry on. And then we'll need to add more to which pool is in game, of course. Game. I'll just open it that way. Lovely. Stick that in your pipe and then put the pipe in the bin because smoking's bad for you. Hmm? Looked like design there, didn't it? Yes, it was. Also, what is this? Are you in fact not out of memory? And are you in fact telling me you're out of memory when this happened, whatever this is? Should I have read that a bit more carefully? Okay, compile image 32 is more than or equal to 32. I mean, that's certainly true, but that error could do with explaining why that's a bad thing, couldn't it? Really? What's this function called? Oh, that kind of out of memory. Okay. But does it matter? Are we still writing at that point? I guess we are. And we are guessing somewhat at that number. In theory, that ought to be enough. I feel like there's a bug here. I don't think this is actually hitting the limit. So what is happening here? Pixel value is not equal to current run value. Maybe we switch this back on. It's the very first sprite, which is very small. I wonder if that's relevant. It's debris. Debris is only, I think, 8 by 8. Only in row 5, so we shouldn't run out of data by this point. Ah, is it just that? This doesn't account for the runs between the rows. Is that why? Because this is like trying to account for the worst case scenario. You know, if you had an image that was just alternating between two colors, then you're going to get the worst possible run lengths out of that. You're going to end up with data that's twice the size of the original image because it'll have to store 2 bytes for every one. And that was the thinking here. But we also store another 2 bytes to get us from the end of one row to the beginning of the next. So I suspect we actually just want to say block 1 there, which we're going to need a comment. This is why people have those little animated things at the bottom of their streams with the characters walking about. Could do with that at this point. So you've got something other than a dancing cursor to look at. There we go. Still dead. Second. What does second mean? Second. The second what? Oh, it's just the second error. The second error of that type. Okay, that's not very helpful. I'm a bit thrown by this. What if we just make that number much larger and then ask it how far it got? Clearly that comment is not accurate, so we'll get rid of it. And get rid of that. And that. And then we'll just say 20. Now 10 times as much data, see if I care. Okay, so then we got the size there. So if we just print that out. I mean, they all should be slightly strange numbers. I'm intrigued to see how large they go. Excuse me. Good grief. What does it say this time? Okay, we've got a vaguely more sensible error at the end, but what do you call that? It's not really 2 by 8, it's 8 by 8. I calculated the maximum there again. I'm on this. Where is it? Oh, that's a bit. The bandwidth was is 2 by 8, that's 16. And then I'm saying by 2, which gives us 32. Is that correct? Because it would be. There are only 2 pixels per row per plane, so frame with words is correct at 2. Potentially a third one for the stride, but that only gets us 24, which then multiplied by 2 is 48, actually, which is about where these numbers were. 42 is, there is a 48 there, but we haven't written to the 48th location, it's just a length of 48. So as long as there's nothing larger than 48, that calculation is correct. It's the logic that's wrong. And those frames are bigger, so that's fine. Okay, I've solved myself on that. In which case, I was right the first time. Was it the second one? I think it was, wasn't it? This guy. 3 blocks, just to make sure. Second. So I think the second one then actually just needs to be turned into a more than rather than a more than equals. What do I want to do here? Sort this logic out a little bit, I think. I think you should probably come later on. Fine, I'm just going to do it the easy way. Back to Cosidem thing. Slightly sore wrist. I've committed now. Right, there's the music finished as well. Amazing. Oh, well, it ran, so that's got to be good. Oh, I'm in the next level. I'll have to delete my progress. Otherwise, I'll get very confused. Very confused. All right. Well, nothing appeared to die, so I'm going to take that, I think. Where was that output? Oh, at the bottom. I remember. I remember. Okay, ditch that. And then I'm going to delete. Where is it? Progress. I'm in the wrong place, that's why. Progress now. Okay. Alright, so yes, the horizontal flippings are broken, but we'll deal with that later. Point is, everything now is a compiled sprite, so ignoring the fact that we've still got various forms of corruption on the screen, and also the turrets have stopped being able to see me, and it's not because he's facing the wall before anybody says. That's interesting. Oh, okay, that's just a coincidence. It gets very messy when you shoot them. He said failing to shoot them. There we go. Okay. Otherwise, there was no difference. Is it reasonable to come to that conclusion? When previously it was just the turrets that were compiled, and now everything is, however, that level's only got turrets in it. It's not wholly reasonable to draw that conclusion there. I mean, the player's rendering fine, and that's compiled now, or it wasn't previously. And I suppose well, those guys, the little bits of debris and whatnot, those are all compiled as well, and they're all working fine. Okay, okay. I've convinced myself, excuse me. Oh, I've not rebuilt, have I? Since taking that log out? Oh, it doesn't matter. Right, so, yeah, we want to change how arrays works. Are we filtering that? No, do I remember where we're scanning the background anyway, even though we shouldn't ought to be? I remember. So what do we actually want to do here? I mean, ultimately we want to just ditch that entire thing. And the next thing, because we're not going to be doing compositing, is it? Which actually means this optimization that I never finished is also made irrelevant. Fine. Go on. Gone. Oh, that's some debug guff. I've taken out too much, haven't I? Yes, that's the draw. We still want the draw. We just don't want the composite before the draw. Right. So if we were to run that now, it would. What would it do? Well, it wouldn't look very pretty, that's for sure. Okay. Where does the erase happen? Is it inside the draw? I think it might be. I could be wrong. I can't remember where I do the erase. It's impressive. Oh, is it not part of the render list? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah. So we do that externally. So you're going to do it somewhere then. There it is. And then that calls to the world sprite, which is the VS Code. Don't be a gimp. find it myself, shall I? Shall I find it myself? Thanks, mate. There it is. Which then calls on an address, yeah, fair enough, and then clears the render item. Do we care? I suppose we probably do care about the render item, even though we don't need the background image that it would have scanned, because that no longer exists. What else is in the render item? That's not that, is it, Visual Studio? Is it? Do you see how that one's called render item, and that one's called world sprite data? So that one can't be the definition of that one, can it? Can it? Deep breath. I remember when Visual Studio Code was good. Do you remember? It was about 3 days when it was first launched. Anyway. Oh, right. Render, oh, I did mean Nash. Damn it. Nash. Render item. That's the one. Thank you. You see, you can do it when you try. Okay, yeah, and that contains the image pair. That's why we're passing that around, and the information about where it was rendered, we'd also need to keep that. Okay, so it does make sense to keep hold of that then. Excuse me, sorry. Okay. So I guess all of that infrastructure remains the same. It's just the contents of the arrays function that changes. Because this would be where we would actually be working out what we want to draw, rather than just sticking the background image back on. So that would stay the same. This would stay kind of similar, but not quite the same. Actually, it doesn't matter whether the sprite was clipped or not, because we're still just drawing an arbitrary rectangular region. The things that we're going to draw to put the background back are all going to be clipped regardless. So, yeah, we probably don't care about that. Which is interesting, because I'm fairly sure we stored different data. Yeah. That might be a problem too. So what I might do then is no, not draw. What am I doing? Handwriting. Lips and handwriting. Oh, okay. I'll just take the address and start playing. What about if it's clipped? What do we store then? Okay. Maybe those are different. Source region screen pos. Yeah, those are different. Okay. Okay, so it's those two for clipped, those two for unclipped. Okay, that's mildly annoying. I suppose this is more useful actually. So it's the clipped version, right? Yeah. Region being. Okay, so yeah, that would just be the size of the full sprite then. So what we want then is to fill those values whether we're clipping or not. Well, not more. Source region screen box. Actually a bit weird. That is a pixel size, isn't it? I'm sure it is. Look. No, there is no constructor for that. We'll just do it that way. That's not true. Slightly concerned that might actually be wrong. In which case this is not quite going to match, but we'll find out. Okay, we don't need any of these things. We probably need well rendered. Okay, so that's the draw, and then we've got an arrays function right here. What do we want to do here? We no longer care whether this flag is set or not. We need to, yeah. So we need to track the sprites that we're overlapping as well when we do the draw. So that's other stuff that's going to have to go into the render item. What's the safest way to do this? If we just did pointers. Yeah, because the idea, the whole point of this is that we are not going to be drawing and erasing every sprite every frame, which means we might draw it and then wait 2 frames before erasing it, during which time the sprite that was underneath it may have been destroyed. It's actually kind of a pain. Maybe again, maybe for now, we just do it the slow way and just decide when we come to do the arrays, what are we actually overlapping right now? Which is far slower than I'd like, but it'll get it working. Okay. In fact, it'd be useful just to get one working, because that then will at least look right enough. Okay. Well, that's not clipped. I was wondering why that code seemed to not match what I was expecting. Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, that was weird. The audio went really peculiar for that for a minute. Thank you for checking in, Jabber. And welcome in. How are you doing today?
I'm Joe the Elf. I got locked in here because I wasn't part of the script, which could have caused bugs.
Oh, that's a little big adventure, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay. Elf membership card.
Gnome guy.
Elf's Club membership card, a mysterious card given to me by a very special elf.
What are you planning to play on the N64? Doing some more Zeldas. Zeldas? What am I doing? Again, I'm being terribly efficient and doing... Actually, it's not that... No, I'm not being efficient at all, because I'm doing the planes right there. It'd be more efficient if it told me to erase a plane at a time. Well, yeah, okay, fine. Good. Right. So what we need then, we don't need that comment. We need an equivalent of that function that can work out the tile data. Operator of time. Now, with arachnophobia mod, fair enough. How are the optimizations coming along? I'm all right, I think. Just what does it say on the screen? Yes, we're doing dirty rect erasing is the plan today. Excuse me, but my voice is going, as you can hear, which is, I think, I don't know how long I'm going to last today, to be honest. Oh, excuse me. So yes, I'm in the middle of raising this new erase function. So it's based on one of the optimizations that we're doing. One of the broader optimizations is, again, nicked from Jazz Jackrabbit, which is a weird benefit that you get from not having a back buffer, from only ever drawing directly onto the screen, is that you don't need to erase everything every frame. And so while the scroll can run at 60-ish hertz, the animation of the sprites doesn't. In Jazz Jackrabbit, they all run at 30 instead of 60, which is a very sensible idea, and indeed is what Space Cats was doing anyway in the old version. So yeah, what I'm now doing is trying to make it so that I can draw a sprite and then I can leave it on the screen for a frame, and then I can erase it the following frame, or if you see what I mean, skipping a frame out, which means that I don't need to draw and erase every sprite every frame. I can do one set one frame and the other set the other frame, which ought to give us a nice speed boost. The problem with doing that is it makes erasing more complicated, because you can't just take a screenshot essentially of the background and just put that back on again, because you'll be out of sync with what the other sprites are doing. Excuse me. Dirty Rats, so dirty. Dirty Rats Mark Way, you have to redraw. Essentially, yeah. So the plan is, do I have a screenshot of the game? I probably do. DOS game. I don't, but I can make one. Plunk P quit. And then back to there for a minute, and then if I find a sprite, and then if you open up, there it is. Actually, that was a terrible screenshot, but nonetheless. Yeah, okay, so you can see it for that guy. If I put a sprite on the stream, where's a sprite gone? Oh, I can't find it in OBS. There it is. So yeah, so this guy, the turret here, is, if he's meant to be, I mean, he's meant to be facing the other way for a start, but that's an issue we'll deal with later. But he's meant to be animating as well. And so what we can do is we can just draw that image there, and just leave it there for a frame. And then the following frame, we need to reconstitute what is underneath him, which is, yeah, that's what the dirty rect is. It's just the area that the sprite covers. And so what we can do is we can go back to the actual tile data for the level to work out what tiles are underneath him. And then if the player was, imagine the player is like over there or something. Oh, except it's going to draw the black background. That's not helpful. If the player was sort of under there as well, then we'd know that he was overlapping. And so we'd have to tell the player to redraw like just those pixels in that region or wherever he is. And yeah, that's the idea. I don't know if I've explained that terribly well, but that's the plan. And we kind of have to do that to be able to do the alternate frame rendering that I want to do. That makes sense. Oh, jolly good. Excuse me, sorry. Oh, it's funny. I don't know what this virus is, but I'm generally fine. Like, I'm sort of thinking fine, and normally that's sort of the big thing with me is my brain stops working when I get a cold. But I'm fine. I just can't speak. It's really difficult. Right, so we want essentially a version of that takes, or that calculates what it needs to draw based on the tile data. Maybe try Morse code. It's a good idea. If only Dora was to hand, I could squeeze Dora and we could get Morse code meows. How many? I don't think I'd get a single letter out before I lost my arm. Where is she? Come to think of it. Oh, she sat on the big bag. Okay. What have I saved here? Oh, okay. So the tile rendering is these days the domain of World Renderer, who has some vaguely useful functions for this, but nothing we can use directly. Because it's expecting to draw entire tiles, which we don't want to do. In fact, I think it's in here, isn't it? Yeah. That's how we're doing it. Okay. So we want something that looks quite a lot like this. You're still on holiday, aren't you, Jabu? Get off. Offset. Okay, so we could offset to 4 pixels by that, but not by smooth individual pixels. Rest of the week, back to work next week. Sad times. 2 weeks are over so quickly, it's true. Though, I mean, I went out to the shop this morning and I got the distinct impression that everybody in this town is on holiday as well. Because absolutely everybody was out today. You would think it was a Saturday afternoon in the city centre. It's very busy. How dare they, is my point. How dare they? Right. So we want something quite similar to this, don't we, really? And it's... I'll tell you what, let's do it the other way around. What would we like to tell this function? That's not correct. That would go. Source region. Oh, I see. Is that the clip region? Excuse me. Yeah. Okay. I should probably have called that clip region, but fair enough. So, well, that's not. Well, let's rename this anyway. It's not going to be video. It's going to be world renderer. Draw tiles suggests entire tiles, which draw world region might be nicer. Draw world renderer, draw region would be fine. Yeah. There it goes. The region is... That's not... It's not quite a clip region, is it? I think I've just decided. The screen pause. Okay. Okay, I think I'm going to ignore this function. This basically doesn't mean anything. So the region, we're just going to pass it to region of the screen. Do we have that data to hand? That's the problem. We've got it in various forms in the render item, but I'm not convinced. Excellent. Can you show me render items today? You can. Screen post source region. So you could work it out from screen post and source region. It's kind of implied by those two values. Okay, fine. Again, it's a slightly silly way to do it, but it'll work. So let's just do that. Assuming that isn't clipped. You write a good profile. What do you write? Okay, so is that clipped or not? That is not clipped. Okay. Source region is the region of this image. Yeah, the offsets. Okay. That's right, isn't it? Yeah. Back a few, back a few. I did switch to VS Code, yes. It makes me slightly less annoyed than TextMate does, but only slightly. So you can just add. Okay. What's that type called? Image region. Wait, there's going to be. It should just be the source region width and height, shouldn't it? Because that's already accounting for. Yes, it's already accounting for those. Okay. I can get rid of that then, and I can just say render left source region size. Okay. What do I say? Draw region. Region is basically that, isn't it? Basically that. Don't even need the position. But we will tell it what plane we want. Okay. What are you talking about? Do you in fact mean you don't know what an image region is? I suspect that's probably what you mean. what they make me. Excuse me. So that's going to be kind of vaguely similar to that. Get off. Yeah, I think we can just make this horribly inefficient for now. Okay. In which case, that code is probably not a lot of use. You know, I said right at the beginning of the stream that I wasn't going to do it this way, but I think to spare my sanity, I think the first version will be really stupid and just for every single pixel in that region, calculate all the offsets and what tile that would be and therefore what color. Yeah. It'll be slow and horrible, but, you know, DOSBox will compensate for my terrible code, so that's fine. And I'll fix it later. Zero? Do we want it to be zero or... No, not if we're doing it the stupid way. Okay. Okay, so we've got position on the screen. I believe we have a function that will... No, here we don't. Where is that function? Let's see. Unless it's already been calculated by that point. Where did I put this code? I could have sworn there was a function that did this for me. Oh, is it in world? More than world renderer. I bet it is. Now we're talking. Right, some world position, but then we should be able to get world position, can't we? World pass for address. World tile. Ah, no. Come on, VS Code, do me a solid. I'll do it this way, shall I? No, it doesn't exist. Of course it doesn't exist. Don't be silly. Don't be silly. That's why I'm leaving that. There it is. Okay, it is just a shift. Okay. Okay. Look at the wrong function again. I've moved this. There it is. So let's be really silly and just make this deliberately modern and go, right, well, we've got an X and a Y, we should make coordinates out of that. We totally don't need to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Oh, except there's no constructor for it, is there? Well, okay. Then from there, we can go, where are we again? Move it, move it, move it. There's definitely a thing. It wasn't that one. Wasn't that one either. What was I thinking of? No idea. It's definitely a get. Well, oh, hang on. I think I just went past it, didn't I? Oh, that's from Tile Valley. That's not what we want. Turn towards the world pause. So that's vaguely what we want. Okay. Right, let's just call the function. Now, having done that, we then are going to need to know what we lost in that division so that we know the offset into the tile. Again, this all seems vaguely familiar, and I'm sure I have code that does this, but I can't find it, so we'll just do this. Okay. He said, still desperately looking for it. Right, okay, good. Well, it's something very similar to that, isn't it? Don't be a tuna head at code. To be fair, I should be more reasonable about VS Code because it's not exactly VS Code's fault. It could potentially be Clang D, which is what's supposed to be telling it, the semantics of the language. And this is not to be compiled by Clang. This is to be compiled by DJGPP. And so, yeah, there should be some things that are incorrect. It should tell me, as it does, that there are errors when there actually aren't, and things like that. But still being able to, follow references and whatnot, it should really be able to do that. And I don't know why it sometimes can't. It's very annoying. TextMate, on the other hand, didn't even claim to be able to support that, which was in a way better. But anyway, I'm just complaining now. Having a nice moan. Right, so that should give us a subtile offset, at least in theory. So I think we will try logging some numbers. Hello there, Mystic Serpents. Welcome in. Nice to see you. How are you doing? What's your problem? Oh, okay. That's a reasonable problem. You have no idea what a world renderer is. Ah, now. We might have a problem here. Because that's part of the engine. I think, yeah, that's part of the game. You can't know what world renderer is. A conundrum. How can an image be expected to erase something if it doesn't know about all the things that it's got to redraw? I smell a hack coming. Because you could go, well, okay, the redrawing of the tiles then is left to the game, so before the game calls anim image erase, it does that itself. But we want to do it per plane, so that's not really going to work, because we don't say erase plane 0, although we probably should. Is that mad? It doesn't seem that mad. Who calls that again? World spread. Yes. But from outside, you sort of want to just say, I want to erase that. You don't want to have to say, I want to erase plane 0 of that. That's kind of an optimization that this code shouldn't need to know about. Anim image should be dealing with that. So do we give it a callback? So anim image can say, however it is that you do erasing, you do your bit and then I'll do mine. It's kind of a bit weird. It's a bit weird. It's less weird if we call it background renderer, because anim image just deals with sprites. It doesn't know about backgrounds. Okay, I think I might have just persuaded myself on that. Mild migraine today. Oh, that's no good. Sorry to hear that. How's coding been? Coding's all right. If it's any consolation, I'm being shouted at by a cat. What? What you want? What? Meow what? You're saying meow in an expectant manner as if I should understand. It's 20 past 11. It is not lunchtime. And may I remind you, small pussycat, you've got a brand new egg box to play with over there. Would you go play with your egg box? Meow to you too. She likes egg boxes. Except today, when she's taken against that one for some reason. Anyway, I think there was a question I was meant to be answering. Oh yeah, how's coding me? It's generally fine. If it's any consolation for about your migraine, I have some sort of weird virus at the moment that means it's somewhat painful for me to talk. Very, very weird. But anyway, right, what am I doing? I was going to pass a call back through here. Okay. I do feel a bit icky about that though. Otherwise, how could Animimage know about the world renderer? It really can't. The nicest separation of concerns would be Animimage just deals with sprites and we just deal with the world renderer ourselves at this point. But that is, by definition, less efficient unless we break the optimizations out of Animimage into this code, which seems grisly. I just can't make a decision on this one. This is upsetting whichever way I slice it. This would be the more straightforward way of doing it. And I am supposed to be doing the straightforward way today. Okay, fine. We'll do it the straightforward way, and then future me can hate me for later. Excuse me. Which means all of this guff has to come out. Oh well, just that, I suppose. Stick it in. Irish background mentioned. Great comment. Yes, that's typical of my comments. This is dreadful. I apologize. It's just some sort of cold, I think, Mystic. But it's one of those weird ones that's just refusing to go away at the moment. Also, it doesn't know what the render item is. You know fine well what world renderer is, don't you? Do you not? They're user-based. Okay, maybe you don't. I'll allow it, just this once. What was wrong with me recently took about 2-3 weeks to shift. We were comparing notes the other day, weren't we? Yeah. Yeah, I've not had this particular symptom before. Like my what do you call them? Glands in my throat have gone really weird as well, which panicked me until the internet told me apparently that is just immune defense. So I'm like, okay, fine, carry on, lads. If that's what you feel you need to do, you carry on. But yeah, it is mildly irritating though, more than anything else. Right, we don't know what plane currently because we don't deal in planes in this code. Well, I didn't want to put this code here. No, this really doesn't sit right with me at all. I mean, the separation between the engine and the game is only theoretical. I could just make AnimImage know about the world renderer. I would be a very naughty coder if I did that. I would have to forego my biscuit if I did that. But it would be easiest. And I think it would irritate me the least. Okay, fine. We're going to do that. That's what we're going to do. Put that back there. Where even am I? Well, those folders don't look very accurate. I guess that's every what you call a framework and where even are you, AnimImage? Where are you? Okay, I should just be able to do this then, can't I? Fine. Well, fine. It made the red wiggly line go away, so that means I must have done good code, doesn't it? I'm going to write an apology about this. There we go. Oh, hello there, Joe. Welcome in.
Bullshit.
That was an amazing clip. I enjoyed that. Oh, and very well timed. Oh, how are you today, Jog? Excuse me. Right. So yeah, we're fine. We're ignoring what a horrible sin I've committed to get here. We're just going to go ahead and carry on testing this code. That's what we're going to do. Okay. So that's happening every time we call a raise, which we are calling a raise. We're going to be calling it rather a lot, though. So what I might do is disable all the sprites except the player, just for now. If I can remember how to do that. I suppose I'll just go through and comment out a lot of code. I thought I had a nicer way of doing it, to be honest, but maybe not. You're very welcome. That's that one. Oh, and then your arrays. Well, maybe I don't care about the draw then. Just get rid of the arrays. Yeah, that makes more sense. It'll probably make a hideous mess on the screen, but nah. And therefore probably pickups as well. Okay. Oof. So enemies aren't being erased, pickups aren't being erased. As long as I don't shoot anything. I will shoot at the end, or because I have to press Control Q to quit, and Control will cause it to fire. So okay, we'll disable projectiles as well. Excuse me. Okay, what I could do, I could just say, who calls that function? That would have saved me some time. The player. Tick. Doors. Doors are sprites now. I forget that. Okay. Shut up, door. Explosions also. Probably won't see any of them, but nonetheless. Okay, that should be everything. also been. I only noticed yesterday that you made a clip of me wittering about cookies. That was quite funny. I think. Did you tell me about that? I can't remember if you did. But I don't remember it. It was funny though. Don't want to run from here. It was like, I think it was like 2 weeks ago you made that clip. I never noticed. Well, anyway, that appears to be, oh, because it's erasing. Okay. Is that any use? I suppose it's still useful. It'll tell us whether it's drawing in the right place. All right, that's going to give us a big fat log. Whee! Oh, hello. Ah, that's because I'm not erasing anything else. Oh dear. Yeah, that's okay. Can we just pretend that's not happening, or is that all we've got in the log? It's all we've got in the log. Brilliant. Cheers, pal. Why is he doing that then? I mean, it's exhausting all the doodahs because it's drawing but not erasing, which maybe mean, yeah, because I think we draw the player quite late. So maybe we're just not drawing the player at all, in which case it's not going to get erased. So I was right in my first thought that I was going to want to comment out all the draws as well. Oh, yeah. Draw. Oh, okay. Enemies. Again, why did I not just say who uses that function? Oh yeah, good. Doors. Always forget about the doors. You're supposed to draw the bloody doors off. That was a joke that wasn't worth making. Don't want any explosions. Don't want any screws. Don't want any screws. Right, back to there. Build again. Hey, imagine how nice it's going to be when I've got this renderer actually finished. And we get the game back how it was about 4 months ago. And I get back on with actually adding features. What a notion. I had mad notions that this was going to take me about 3 months. I thought this would be finished by March. Hey, yo. Like the end of that South Park Warcraft episode. I didn't know there was a South Park Warcraft episode. Okay. What indeed? Yes, I imagine there's probably going to be a link coming soon. Log. Got nothing in it. Why is there nothing in the log? Why are you not trying to erase this player? What have I done to you? I mean, we are calling that, right? Yeah, sure we are. Yeah. So are you early outing here? Oh, do we set that flag? I'm pretty sure we do. Yeah, doesn't matter. However we draw it, we set that flag. So that should be set. Shush, it's not lunchtime yet. Menace. It's the best one. No, it isn't lunchtime. Cat almost convinced me then, but now it's 20 to 12. Shut up! Where even are you? It's a disembodied screen. Hello over there. It's not lunchtime, is it? No, it's not. Keep telling me I'm going to get you a pussycat wristwatch so you can see what time it is. And it's just going to be a thing stuck to your paw that says not lunchtime. Okay. We should put some debug in the arrays then, because that is apparently not being called. Because there's no way it can... No, there's no other filter. If it gets into this function, it must be coming out there. How old is cat? Dora is, we think, about 5. Which in human years, based on her behaviour, is 80. Aren't you? Because you're an angry little old woman. Where's my lunch? Why is this bus late? This is outrageous. She is still young, yes. It's not calling that function at all. Wait. Ah, well, this is happening. We do. I mean, I actually just checked this a bit. It's right there. Right. And so what happens when we call that? It calls well supply arrays, which might not draw it if it's got no render item. It certainly ought to have a render item, though. You know, doing a solid. What? What's your problem with that? What's your problem? I've spelled it wrong. Okay, I can see that now. Oh, I did need that as well. Again. Definitely need a little Twitch game just for the compiles. Either that or I've got to go and take all the templates out of this code to make the compile time go down. And I don't imagine I'm going to do that. Well, bum. Why have you got no render item? This makes no sense. I'm going to have to do some sanity checking here. Like, okay, so get rid of this, this, and this, and this, and that, and that. And you as well, and you can go away. Right. when we do a draw, that's when you get your render item, right? Or is it actually when we do the actual draw? Yeah, because I think you just get the image pair at this point, which in fact you don't even need anymore. So this could go as well. Oh no, there we go, render item, return the render item. So as soon as you call draw on it, you get a render item. So are we not calling draw on the player? Fairly sure we are. I'm fairly sure we are. Draw, which is, no, that's the stuff for the exhaust. We can ignore that. We're not going to be in playing state. Invulnerable frames won't be relevant. We should come in here. And we're going to be on the screen because we're in the middle of it. I hate having to write these silly logs. Because this just doesn't seem like a bug that should even be happening. It's obviously because I've missed something blatantly obvious, but I don't know what it is, so we're going to have to write silly logs. Drawing, sprite percent %p. And you are, is world sprite a reference? Yes, it is. I had an on-call emergency for work that kept me up till 5:30 this morning. All the food in my pantry is looking fantastic. I know that feeling. I was very well behaved today when I went to the shop this morning, and I did go down the cakes and biscuits aisle, but I managed to not pick anything up. So I would have awarded myself a biscuit for that good behaviour, but of course, by definition, I didn't pick any up, so I can't. You know, it's a hypothetical biscuit. Dore shush. Oh, so okay, so just the first erase then. You, I'm very confused. I'm very confused now. Very confused. Are you erasing it or not? What are you playing at? In fact, is my question. It must be not drawn. Anyway, let's reinstate that one as it exists. Weird. It is erasing it. Except it's not printing out any of the stuff that I'm expecting it to. Okay, so we've been on a mild goose chase. Goose chase. And I don't even have a goose. Right, get rid of that because I don't need it. So you're coming down here. You can't not enter that. You're going into draw region. So those numbers are wrong then. That's all this is. The numbers are wrong. More logging. They don't look wrong. I'm supposed to find out. That would explain it. Big bunch of zeros right there. Oh, because it's not clipped. So we're not filling those values in. Is that why? I bet that's why. So we would have come in here, we would have done draw render item compiled. Do we set last screen pos, last source region? No, we don't. Yes, we do. Intriguing. What? I can't operate a mouse. Yep, it's a big old bunch of zeros. What? Shush. Sorry, that was the cat, in case that wasn't obvious. In case you thought I was telling Jack to shush. So are we not? It's not something silly like... We are drawing them. It's a little bit strange that we're not seeing the ship at all, given that the arrays function doesn't actually do anything. The cat says it's lunchtime. Yeah, the cat's been saying it's lunchtime for the past hour. So there's something else going on here. We're just not drawing the sprite in the first instance, I think. Well, we could prove that, can't we? Be a function, but there used to be a log for that already. Guess there isn't anymore. I don't even care who's called it. Just if anyone called it at all. No. Thinks it's drawing it. Okay. In fact, I think we had this print before. Is it not clipped? I mean, not compiled? I mean, it must be compiled. Because we had all that faff was fixing the compile earlier. What is going on? Why are things never simple? I mean, those can't be zeros. Doesn't matter how you slice it. Those values are not going to be zero. He said confidently. I am interested in it all as well. Let's Caduce. Yeah. Okay, so what? So if we put a print at the top of here, that appears in the log, but this doesn't. How? It's not printing that out. Okay, so it's not getting into this function. So what's saying drawing sprint? Because I can't remember where I put that. Not in the bleeding log, you idiot. World sprite, okay. Okay, so that's just adding it to the list, but then it's not actually coming through in the render list. All right. Yeah, slightly closer. What is necessary about any of this for the draw to actually work? Right, we'll try this and then lunchtime. I forget sprites have debug names. It was very sensible of me. We're done. It thinks it's rendering it. I'm going to have right comments, so I know what I'm doing when I come back after lunch. Okay, right. I'm going to go get a sandwich and I will be back in about 15. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, back again. What are we doing? Player is in red list, but not apparently being drawn. No calls are all under it. Well, okay. We might be early out of this function. That's all commented, so we ignore all that. We know it's in the list, so we're gonna enter this for loop. Is it considered drawn? When do we clear drawn? I assume we clear drawn when we do a raise. Maybe we don't. Excuse me. That's inside a raise, so it's fine. I would expect anyway. Shouldn't be clip. What I should have done is I should have made a cup of tea. Perhaps in a moment. Okay. That seems fair. I'm going to come past that. We are assuming that's passing, which I would be kind of confused if it didn't. But then we should be coming in now. Yeah, I've already had this line before, but the other one actually be good. Sanity check. Excuse me. So there's still no draw there. So are we calling it? We must be calling a different draw function then. Which would suggest that that flag is not set. Where are we forcing that flag? Excuse me, sorry. Let me check some control. Excuse me. Setting it there, but that's actually just the parameter. It shouldn't matter. Okay, back to the red list. Zero. So it thinks it's not a compiled sprite. That's interesting. Well, who sets that? As soon as you go into that function, so that's definitely going to be set. Excuse me. Sorry. Gross. I mean, we can put that back on again. But that's just going to confirm that it is. There it is. Excuse me. That's just a whole A load of extra bugs that we don't need. That flag must be set. It must be. So, how come it isn't by the time we get down here? Or by the time we do the draw, rather. Hmm. I'm going to make a cup of tea. I'll be back in a moment. Back again. Right, and we're just about to test this one. What are we looking for? Oh, flag. Fraud sprite is not compiled. That's a bit mysterious, because I'm pretty sure it is. I won't explain why we can't see anything though. If it's trying to draw it using the normal, uncompiled path, it won't find any data. How strange. Maybe then we want a stronger force on this compiled flag, because in theory, though. Looks like we tested it earlier. Maybe that test was invalid then. Maybe we didn't actually turn on... No, we definitely did turn on sprite compilation because it gave us a bunch of errors about not having enough memory. Something very weird going on here. I don't know what it is. T. Excuse me. Right, okay, so we must be setting that flag though, because we saw this earlier with the load. Where is it? Where is it? What do we call this one? I can't just turn on the debug because that'll give us a whole bunch of guff about all the other sprites that we then are drawing. So what about, instead of that, what happens if we explicitly say, oh, hello. Oh, this is why. So the player's never been done with a compiled sprite because it's loaded in this special way. I forget about this. Okay, so does this. Yeah, so we can only make it a compiled sprite if we load it via load. Oh, no, we're just doing image load.
What am I thinking right now?
Oh, hello there, Corten. Welcome in. Microforum fun.
Well, I think this is a good game that I do not need to be playing. So I won't.
You get Beam in to just make clips of you saying random words. Okay, so we've got a bit of a problem here, haven't we? Because the player is loaded in this unique way. In fact, thinking about it, I can remember why. Which is, it's not really an animated sprite in the same way that other ones are. We just choose the frame of the animation based on the direction. So it's possibly the easiest way to deal with this then is to make it a proper sprite, but just have it defined as like... Actually, does it matter? Can I tell an animated image not to animate? I can't remember. Am I thinking of the wrong thing? I can't do. Is it World Sprite that actually updates the animations? Yes, okay. What should do with a new type of animation? It just actually doesn't animate. Just slightly incongruous, but... So actually, if we had 8 animations, they could all be looping or... No, I think we'll add a new type. Okay, fine. Okay, and that means we want some new data. Oh, it's not in there. Save that as... Little stupid thing. Tell you what, let's do it a different way. What did you just do? That was weird. There we go. Okay, I can never remember the format for this. No flags, 16 by 16, that's not right. The player's 32 by 32. It's got one animation, which is either of type 0, which starts at frame 0. And it doesn't really matter where it ends if it's manual. It's not type 0 then, is it? It's type 3. Starts at frame 0. Doesn't really matter where it ends. It's probably fine now. Probably fine. Okay. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. There's like a do sprite loading. Why something like this? Image data. Oh, I've got one there. Excuse me. That's fine. See what explodes. Cool. Cool. It's crashed DOSBox, always a good sign. Neat. By which I mean sunny. Oh, reasonable then. Oh, it's not listed. It doesn't know it's meant to end at. No, they're not there. Yo. She is currently, in case you're interested, Cat Peasant Dora is right now melted in front of the slightly open window. I think that's what we call enjoying the summer. Well, even though it's not really summer. So we can reset this. Hmm? No? Okay. Still dead. But for different reasons this time. Intriguing. And have you crashed? Yes, you have. Oh, let's reset you again. Crashing box is a point of pride, and maybe a little bit worrying from a security point of view. I'm jealous it's going into winter here, huh? Right? No, it's going into worryingly hot here. Although apparently, I think it said earlier, I had a look at the weather forecast, and I think it is. Yeah, there are clouds today for the first time in a couple of days. And then we're promised rain all next week. So that's a return to British standard. Draw, underwrite, and compile. You don't like. Why? Pretty strange. Remain calm until the rain returns. Indeed. And then go out without an umbrella, according to Japanese stereotype, which in my experience is entirely true. Don't mind the heat, and I live near the ocean, so it's humid enough to take the edge off the heat. Oh, that sounds quite nice, actually. I mean, I live fairly close to a river, so, and yeah, quite close to the coast as well, so we've got a little bit of cold air coming in, but not much. Right. Draw, render item compiled. We're getting to, and then it's dying. It was printing that, wasn't it? Yes. And then dying shortly thereafter. So some of this data is wrong. This is very irritating. Very irritating indeed. Have we told you which animation frame you're on? We should have done, because otherwise how would we draw the ship facing the right way? How do we do that, come to think of it? How do we do that? New frame. Passing that to the animation, no, aren't we? How do you know what frame to draw? Update movement. New frame. Current frame, play a new frame, but none of this is. Oh, hang on, no, it is, isn't it? Because that's part of the world sprite data. All right. And the current anim is we're never changing that, so that's always going to be 0. Did I miscount? I've assumed there are only 8 frames of animation, aren't there? Spritey sprites. Layer. Yep, there's only 8 frames of animation. Okay, back to the code. Depends what you're used to. Summer's always too hot and too sunny where I live, which I should be happy about, but I hate it. It's not like there's any good beaches to go to. Oh, okay. The 30-degree heat in Finland a few years ago, and it felt like 40 here. Blah. I swear to God, the clouds pass to the south of us every time on the weather radar, so we're left with a lot of sun. Certainly not confirmation bias. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I have some friends that live in Singapore, and they invited me out to go and visit them a few years ago. Indeed, actually, they wanted me to go and live out there and start a business with them. But just a few days of being in Singapore, which I can't remember, but it was about 40 degrees. And I was just like, no. They kept telling me I would get used to it, and I was like, I'm never going to get used to this. I will literally die before I get used to this. I've never been anywhere else where I felt the need to plan when I went out, to go and do touristy things. And I've never felt the need anywhere else to go, right, well, I'm here, so I can run to Starbucks has an awning, so I can stay in the shade there, and then I can get from Starbucks to the other shop down there. Micromanagement on the planning so that I didn't get boiled alive. I don't understand how anybody lives in temperatures like that. But then, having said that, my mum lived there when she was a kid, so her family clearly coped, at least for a bit. Don't need that. I'm concerned that I might have bitten off more than I can chew here, or at least gone off on a bit of a tangent that I didn't need to go down. Because if we do load, we're going to call that storage. We can do all this guff. But then we're just going to call that additionally. So I could have just added that. I didn't think of that. Because I'm not at all convinced that that's not full of nonsense. I mean, there's not that much to it, so it can't be that wrong. Let's see if that's happening. Copious amounts of aircon, yes. And that's always the other fun part of it, isn't it? You stand outside being boiled alive, while you're waiting for the pedestrian crossing to go green. You can sort of feel yourself frying, and then you finally reach the building that you want on the other side of the street, and the aircon's got it down to like, always feels like -10. Basically, I'm just a grouch. That's really the lesson here. Okay, we're not getting that far. Which makes sense, because we're just trying to draw it the first time. At least it does it. Problem is, I've done so many things to get to this point that it could be any one of them that's broken. Because the very first thing I did this morning was, I thought, switch on compiled sprites for everything and confirm that everything still worked as a compiled sprite. But it turns out it was a faulty assumption because the player wasn't compiled. Gosh darn it. Means all the changes I've done today are questionable. He said, looking through the changes. I mean, most of them are just debug logs, so it's fine. Okay, let's try the alternative method. There. Back how you were, please. Now, what does it do? An image after the load. Disk off. Yeah, well, I should really your anchor. Excuse me. Oh, is that not visible? No, I'm putting it back how it was. What? We're just going to have to make this work. Slightly fiddly to debug this sort of stuff though, because you're trying to debug the load of a sprite and you're loading, 20 sprites. So, I suppose what we can do a minute. Now I am throwing myself. I've decided on a graphics pipeline. Can't do scrolling without a graphics pipeline. Can't draw sprites until scrolling work. Can't do dirty rectangles until you've at least got some sort of sprite rendering, no matter how crude working. What are compiled sprites, or is it orally, or is it literally assembly code with those sprites? It's orally. Excuse me. Looking at each animation, you're talking about sequential and list. This is a different kind of data. That is the wrong button. So I'm putting. So that data is completely wrong then. Because I was thinking that was how we play it, which is obviously silly. Okay, so it wouldn't have allocated any memory for it. Maybe it's just that then. So then in that case, the flag here, this is just the animation play type, which we're probably, that's just going to get set when we say play anim, and we're never saying play anim, so it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter. because it's going to be single by default, I'm willing to bet. Now, looping, in fact. So we do want to set that. So we want to rather bizarrely say play anim this thing, but actually don't play it. Which is a bit weird, but it gets us where we want to go. What do you want? Oh, that is what do we want then. It's all right. Silly me. Oh, we want? What do you want? Have a pointer. So yeah, dereference that. That's the wrong type of. Oh, Jesus. Oh, right. What a bloody one there. Is it not Angler? Is it not Anastasia? What do you want? You want a world sprite, which is the player itself. Oh. Okay. I remember you were having some issues with the RLE. Nice to hear you past that. Yeah, so I think the last stream, because I missed last week's stream, but I think where I'd left it the week before was the realization, in inverted commas, that I couldn't clip compiled sprites. But of course you can clip compiled sprites. It's just really fiddly. So I've spent some time making that work, and that all works now. Forget if you're still using Modex, that would certainly give me a headache reasoning about RLE for. Oh my yes. Yeah. What am I doing? I think I was about to rebuild this. Yeah, let's have a rebuild. Hee-ho. Oh, Dora has awakened. The meowing has stopped. Hello, Fluff. What you doing? You having a fluff? Okay. Oh, no, I can see. Yeah. Oh, it's done. Oh, that's dead. So is that. What's the problem now? Oh, still the same place. Draw render item. Excuse me. Okay. Well, I guess we'll just follow through and see where it's upset. It would be nice if we could see it compiling the data just for that sprite, but that's not really feasible at the moment. Oh, there's first of false. No? What do you want? What do you want? Can't remember what that is. We'll see. Okay. 4 pointers. So that's already a pointer. You just don't know what P is. Right. Oh, that's why there's an int P, because it doesn't like using the char. Oh, stupid compiler. You don't have a compiler these days, it's telling me. It may have died by that point. Really? Of course it's a void pointer, because everything's a void pointer. It's the compiler. Dope. Oh. Silly. Left those on. Oh, it's dead. Dead. Okay, we got the first print, which has sensible values in it. Assuming that those are not null pointers at all, which they might be. Can check that. Limit. Excuse me. Get off the screen. First it. Reset. First point is legit, second one isn't. Interesting. Alright. Frames value isn't set. What is that? Let's check that. Flags. None. Width and height, number of animations. Width and height, number of animations. Then, for each animation, type is 0, which I'm going to assume is sequential. Yep. Start frame is the next value, which is 0. Frame count is 8. I am not seeing a problem with that. It just creates the special animations, but not for the frames. So if this didn't happen, not mentioned. That's weird. Wait. Okay, yeah, we only never needed that because we weren't using load before, but that doesn't explain why it's not appearing in the log. I mean, it's right there. Increasingly desperate debug logging. Okay. Wow. So it's not finding any animations at all, which would explain why it's then crashing. But why not? There must be something wrong with that data. I've just got no idea what it is. What else has a single animation? The debris. It's got two animations, it turns out. Those numbers are all fine. What the hell is going on here, for goodness sake? This is not what I intended to spend today doing. No. That is the fourth value. It's a big old one. Is that up to date? I think it is. Let's check. It was not up to date. Anyway, okay, fine. I thought that cracked. Okay, so it's also, wow, it's spewing out log like nobody's business, which is why it's gone a bit weird. That's funny. Okay, that's that problem solved. I've got a bunch of debug to take out again then. What else was in there? Oh, this crap. Okay, and we finally got the numbers we actually wanted. That's what I wanted about 4 hours ago. What a time to be alive. Well, actually, we can leave that one in, can't we? Okay. And even though I've got valid numbers there, I'm going to rebuild it anyway. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Okie dokie. Well, 128's very wrong. 144, 160. It's just getting more wrong. Well, interestingly wrong by multiples of 16. I suspect you probably know what that's about. Out of interest, does the tile chord match up? Are they spread? Oh, I don't mean A spread, I mean tile. Not got it wrong. Those numbers are not correct for what we want. Screen chord's wrong anyway. It's not at 320 by 200, it's at 160 by 100. I guess it must be well coordinates. But then why have I called it screen coordinates? 320 by 200. Oh, hang on a minute. Right, that's VRAM, isn't it? It's not actually the screen position. Which means calling it last screen boss is not particularly accurate. Yes, okay, we're adding a viewport offset as well. Okay. Excuse me. Absolutely no idea. Okay. Okay. So I think what I've discovered is it's too hot now for me to think. So I'm going to call it there, I think. Because I'm not getting anywhere. Well, I'm getting somewhere with it, but it's extremely slow going and I'm very rapidly losing the ability to concentrate. So I'm going to go and, probably have a nap with the cat, I think, at this rate. So yeah, thanks for hanging out. I'll be back on tomorrow because I'm going to do what is it? Age of Empires 2, and the Mac version comes out tomorrow, so that's exciting. I'll be playing that tomorrow. This is really all. Welcome, Cat Peasant. Thanks for hanging out. Go 10. Should we find somebody to raid? Dum da dum da dum. Buttons. Oh, Jabu's on. Should we make Jabu raid himself? No, that's not how you spell Jabu. They're going. There we go. Right, so yeah, thanks for hanging out. Maybe see you tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll be back on doing more dev stuff next Wednesday. Yeah. Ta-ta.